Hi, everybody. Welcome to Our Sinclair. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today, Aaron, we're going to talk about Werewolves of London.
I think I've heard of that.
Do you remember the first time you ever heard Warren Zevon's Werewolves of London?
Well, I think it was Well, I mean, it's one of those songs you probably heard it a million times and didn't pay attention or whatever. But it's like the first time I noticed it was probably like maybe a TV commercial or something. I don't know. Or, I mean, I take that back. Delivering Pizza. That's probably where I heard it on the radio.
That's where you heard most of the songs that you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was in the car a lot.
Right.
It's funny. Before I delivered pizza, I just didn't really use the radio that much. And as soon as I could drive, I was working. So pretty much that was it. Great song. It's funny. I could not name another Warren Zevon song, and I know he's got other hits, but that's the only one I know.
Probably Lawyers, Guns, and Money is his next. Have you heard Lawyers, Guns, and Money? You never heard it?
I think I have heard that, yeah.
But I remember the first time I heard Werewolves of London. I'd not heard it ever before in my life that I could remember, but when I lived in Virginia, this is like 2005, I had the Sirius, the XM, the little doohickey in your car that shows you the song. And I was listening to some, 70s station or whatever, and this song came on. And it was one of these times where I had to stop the car. I was shocked how good this song was, how wacky it was, how different it was. And I was like, what is this? Warren Zevon. And then I listened to a bunch of his other songs and they weren't as good. So it was a kind of a letdown. But
he's a real interesting cat. I mean, just wacky. I used to see him on Letterman.
Oh, really? Did he run the talk show circuit back in the day?
Well, I don't know if he ran it, but I had seen him on there a few times. But he was a nutty guy. He reminds me. That song is in the same sort of line as like Screaming Jay Hawkins. Yeah. One of his wacky tunes. I Put a Spell on You or something like that. Just a guy that's out of his mind with crazy lyrics, being weird. But it is a great tune.
What are the chances that Screaming Jay Hawkins is still alive?
I don't know. That song hit. I think that song was a big hit in like the 60s.
I think it was a big hit in the 50s.
Was it the 50s?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Why do you ask? Is he? Is this a trick question?
Know. I was just curious because I haven't thought about Screaming Jay Hawkins in several hours.
Can you name any of his other songs?
I don't think I'm sure he had other songs. He didn't have any other hits.
I mean, it's one of those guys, like if you heard another song that was a hit, you might be like, oh yeah, but I don't remember any of the other ones either.
Yeah.
But
when you have a song like I Put a Spell on You, you don't need any other hits. That's all you need.
Now here's that. Speaking of wolf creatures and whatnot, remember Wolfman Jack?
Yes.
The Wolfman Jack. What the heck was that guy famous for? Was he just a DJ?
Yeah,
or
he was a DJ. I think it was, well, this was when you had like Murray the K. It was an era of, well, maybe if it was an era of famous DJs, because you had these huge radio stations coming out of like New York, Philadelphia, LA, whatever, and these guys were major personalities. You don't have that anymore because after Payola, like everything became different. But I think really Wolfman Jack was the last big radio DJ. I can't think of anybody after him that people will always. Maybe Delilah. Does she count?
No.
Oh, okay.
What about Dr. Demento? Does he count?
He's not really a DJ. He's just a radio host.
He had a show that played crazy songs that he picked. That's a DJ.
I guess you're right. I guess you could count Dr. Demento. I didn't think about him.
I'll pick him.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. The era of the DJ. Even when I was a kid, like remember they'd have like they would have like dedication time. So they still have that crazy stuff.
Yeah. We still listen to terrestrial radio, like in the kitchen. People turn it on and we'll listen to it, and it's still like it was. People call in, can you play blah blah blah? And did you ever call in when you were a kid?
Never. No, but I received calls, and I worked at the radio station for some wacky requests and stuff. Radio has changed so much. You're talking about payola, and now of course it's all it's robot ran. It's all mechanical,
right?
A lot of it. And I remember when I worked at the Marshall, heck, we were still using reel-to-reel tapes, the big ones. And we were spinning records on vinyl. I mean, for real, not because it was the cool thing to do that week. I mean, it's what we had.
I can tell you the last time that I was in the WMUL studios, which was in like 2001, they were still running promos off 8-track tapes. You got these, and you just stick it in there.
Those. Yeah. And we had a remote for parades and news, and you should have saw this thing. This was not. It's not like just picking up your cell phone and talking. I mean, this was an antenna. It was a big metal gizmo, a bunch of wires. Holy smokes! Things have changed. I'm not that old, Boat.
You really should have pursued a career in radio, Aaron. That would have been great.
I do have a face for radio, but the problem is I don't have a voice for radio or a personality to speak of.
Listen.
So that sort of cut me off the legs there.
I think that you could have been. I was going to say stern, but you're not. You wouldn't really be like stern. I don't know who you'd be like. You'd be somebody. You could.
Art Bell.
Yeah, Art Bell. I
can live with that.
Yeah, you could be.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because I mean, Art Bell. He doesn't really have like a big radio voice either.
Oh, he's got a great voice. But one thing Art Bell had was infinite patience. I don't got that.
Yeah, me
like
neither.
I couldn't put up with some of that crap. I would want to kill a sucker, probably just to cut the sucker off. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know how we got there from werewolves.
Well,
but yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go back to werewolves. Werewolves of London, Aaron. Let's learn about it.
It's goofy, Boat. That's my assessment. So this game, now I did a little digging into this thing, which I'll get into in a second. This game is a 1989 release, Boat, well into the game, and was published by Mastertronic, and was authored by a fellow named Viz. The author was an outfit called Viz Design. They only had one other game that I could find on the Spectrum. It was called Bride of Frankenstein. I've been informed that that's hot garbage, Boat. But hey, I can't imagine why you couldn't pull a good game out of Bride of Frankenstein, man. So the guys behind this were Steve Howard. He worked on Bride of Frankenstein. He also worked on a game called Mermaid Madness.
Wow. I want to play that one.
His buddy Paul Smith worked on the same two games. That's it. That is the entire situation there. This is for the old 48K. It's got the usual accoutrement you would expect from a game like this. It supports normal Kempston and whatnot. And this thing, Boat, was a slim trim 2 pounds, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick this bad boy up. So this is a cheap night out if you want something interesting to do. Now, World of Spectrum has a little side remark on here that says originally this was planned to be a full price release on the Viz Design label, but eventually Mastertronic picked it up and released it in a super budget capacity, Boat. And super budget. Well, I mean, let's talk about what this game is. So I don't know how much you looked into. Did you look into the backstory about this or anything, or what was actually going on?
Well, the only thing that I don't want to spoil your narrative, so
no. I don't want to.
I mean, the thing that I remember from reading about this is that it was supposed to be a really big, almost, it would take what we see here in terms of the open world and really expand upon it a lot more. But the developers ran into issues and it was never finished for one reason or another. And there's actually, you cannot complete this game in its original form. You are tasked with talk about games, the missed opportunities for your games where you play as the villain series. And on ARG, this would have been a good candidate because what you do in this game is you kill other people and you eat other people. And,
well, there's a good reason behind it.
I don't know if there's a good reason or not. I mean, you've got a family has apparently cursed you and turned you into a werewolf. Okay.
Yes. Now,
ask yourself, what's so bad about being a werewolf? Think about Teen Wolf. He got action. And I'm talking about hot action.
Now hold on a second here. Teen Wolf was a garbage film.
What?
Let's face facts. It was funny. Watching a man in a wolf outfit shoot basketball. That's high comedy. But it was, in terms of the werewolf pantheon, that was crapiola, my friend.
It was the best werewolf movie. So imagine
it's the only one you could tolerate without crying in a fetal position.
Imagine if you were Teen Wolf, okay?
No.
You would not care that a family had turned you into Teen Wolf. You would revel in it. You would not want to hunt them down and eat them.
Well, see, thankfully, this is a real werewolf. This isn't some kind of high school geek that used his. Think about it. I've got werewolf abilities. I want to be big man at the high school. You small-minded fool.
What would you do with werewolf abilities?
I'm going to take over the freaking nation, man. I'm a freaking werewolf. Who's going to stop me? Nobody. If you debate a sucker, you get like on a political stage, you may lose the debate, but if you say, listen, if you don't throw this debate, I'm going to eat you, and I'm going to go and eat your kids. You're going to win the debate. You're going to win all negotiations. This guy, I can shoot a 3-pointer. He's a geek. Anyway, getting back to a proper werewolf. This sucker, and listen, This guy got cursed by this family of jerks to be a werewolf. I know you haven't seen any werewolf movies, right? But and these guys, I don't know if they'd seen American Werewolf in London when they made this, or Wolfen or something. But being a werewolf, yeah, Wolfen.
Is that like Wolfenstein?
No, just Wolfen. It's a
what are you doing?
It's a werewolf movie.
It's like an
it's a good flick actually.
Okay.
But anyways, there's some scenes in this that remind me of that, particularly the subway stuff. The fact of the matter is, being a werewolf sucks. It's no good. It's not fun, man. You wake up when you become a werewolf. It's not like you feel like, I'm going to go have a stroll. You're a wolf. You want to go eat some crap. You want to go kill suckers. You want to rip heads off. So if you get cursed to be like that, you're not just going to take it in good spirit. Oh, I can shoot a 3-pointer. You're a freaking killer, man. And you're gonna go take care of business.
Have there been any comic book heroes that are werewolves?
Yeah, man. There's been a werewolf by night.
Is Beast a werewolf?
No, Beast is a mutant, man. There are no werewolves that you would have heard of that would fit the bill as a good guy. Listen, this guy's not. You're not a good guy in this, but you are trying to right the wrong. That's what I'm saying. And you're slaughtering his family. Tough. That's Wolfbane. That's the way it goes. These guys are all cursed you. They got to pay. So don't question this guy's morality. He's doing the right thing. So in this game, you play the guy that is cursed. You turn into a werewolf. Now this game has a day and night cycle, which is spelled out at the bottom of the screen with a little sun. And then the sun goes away, it's night. When the sun comes out, it's daytime. You've got to run around. I'll tell you, I played this game without any instructions or anything, to start off with. And so I just walked around wondering what in God's name was going on. Mm-hmm. This is not even with instructions. I mostly walked around.
This game consists of a lot of walking around.
That's right.
Walking around is your main reason for being in this game.
Yeah. But what you're wanting to do is knock off the people. You'll come across people occasionally that have a yellow cross will come up on your screen. All right. That means they're marked for death, Boat. Mm-hmm. You got to take them out, and so you got to take them now. You can't just kill them, slaughter them. You got because for a bunch of reasons. You got to catch them in the right spot. You knock them off, and you've also got to avoid the police that are coming after you. Sometimes in droves, and This game reminded me a lot of like E.T. or
it's very similar to E.T.
of the Lost Ark, something like that. One of those games. You get the same feeling.
Yeah. So. I'm trying to think about a game like this is sort of unique in its perspective. This game takes place in a Double Dragon-ish kind of 3D perspective where you can move up and down, and it's actually pretty effective. The game moves pretty fast. Yeah. There is a pretty big world that you can walk around in. There are several sites. I remember reading a video or a comment on a YouTube video where a guy was like, "Yeah, after I played this game, I became fascinated with London," and I was like, "Wow, so apparently this game turned people on to being fascinated with London." But there are a bunch of different settings. There's settings you can go to around the park. I think it's Hyde Park. You've got the underground. You've got various sort of like residential places around the police station. And you're going to find just people milling about, okay? And when it's daytime, all you can do is mill about with the people.
Yeah. And you also you're a complete geek.
Yeah, you mentioned that. The character design in this game.
It looks like Ed Grimley.
Yeah, individual characters look good. The problem is that there's only two models. There's woman model, there's man model. I guess there's cop model too. But you look just like the other guys. That's no good.
It's a whole, and they walk.
Yeah, they do walk like Ed Grimley. Imagine, a world of Ed Grimleys.
They look like they're moonwalking forward at all times. They're kind of their butts stuck out, their feet are in further, but it's real bizarre.
What I've noticed is there are quite a few Spectrum games where just the people doing the coding hadn't quite mastered, which I'm sure is a very difficult thing to do, to come up with a convincing walk. But we found this to be true with Target Renegade too. Do you remember that? So sort of that forward moonwalk motion.
Yeah. It is funny. This is not what I would call the top of the shelf when it comes to animated walking.
No. But anyway, so you blunder around, you collect items. Items do different things. You can find a lockpick, you can find a flashlight, you can find money, and you are this is a sort of inventory management, item dropping and picking up game. So for example, when you pick up the lockpick, what you want to do is you want to go into the prison, which is open to all apparently during the day, and you drop that lockpick in there. So if you get arrested later on, when you're the wolf and you're in the cell, you grab the lockpick and you can get out.
Which also, I love the fact that the cops catch a werewolf, they just put him in the joint.
Yeah,
he'll be all right. Yeah, just lock him in there.
So anyway, during the day, it's basically you're just doing item manipulation, and you're also trying to locate members of your family or members of the family that cursed you. And what you do is when you find one of these people, they usually just walk right off the screen. What you have to do is you have to box these people in a weird way that is very the people won't walk through you, so you can actually block them by walking back and forth quickly. Yes. And if you do that fast enough and you do it long enough, then it will turn to night, and then as soon as it turns to night, you become a werewolf, and then you eat them.
That technique, I watched a playthrough of this because I couldn't eat anybody. I got sucked. I couldn't do nothing. And I thought to myself, what is happening? Well, I saw them corner these people in the daylight, and then and just sort of not let them leave.
I just picture Wolfman as human. You know, he sees somebody in the park and he's just like, hey, hey, hey. And he does this for like 12 hours, you know?
That
just
would be darn. If you think about it, put yourself in the Wolfman's shoes. You've got a blood vendetta against somebody, right? Well, but during the day, you're Ed Grimley. You're a little puss. You can't hurt nobody.
Right.
And you know you're going to be a real stud in a couple hours. So all you've got to do is keep on this guy and keep him cornered for several hours when the sun sets. It's so stupid, but I mean, that's the game. That's the technique. That's how you do it. It's very strange, but it's funny.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, the object of the game is I think that there are 8 family members. Does that sound right?
It's 8 or 9. It depends on your perspective because apparently the last one you can't find.
Yeah. And you are hurt by a couple different things. You can get shot by bullets. We should mention the cops. The way the cops work in this game is there are 2 different types of cops. There's cops with guns and cops without guns. And the cops without guns will take you to the clink. The cops with guns will just shoot at you. They're not interested in arresting you. They just want to take you down. So you lose life, obviously, when you're shot, and also when you take a fall off of buildings. A lot of these buildings, you can go up to the roof and traverse that way as you do when you're a werewolf. And
you can even jump off the roof.
Yeah. If there is fall damage, you gain life back by eating corpses, and that's how that happens.
Making corpses.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, that's basically the game in a nutshell.
So get this, Bo. Speaking of the 8th and final victim, I looked up some information I saw on the wiki or somewhere. On the Spectrum, of course, the game didn't get finished because the outfit that was originally making was named. Is this their name? Areola Soft.
Right.
They went bankrupt.
I think we've done some other games by those guys.
The name sounds familiar. Yeah. But anyway, when they went bankrupt and this game got picked up by somebody else, when they went in there to finish the game, they just didn't catch the last that bit at the end, so it just got released. Now, I saw that I saw a fellow do a walkthrough of this on the Spectrum, and who had gotten the final victim, and he mentioned that he had played a patched version. So I guess somewhere in the since '93, someone has come out with a patch to make this to at least where you could end the game. Now, when he ended the game, it literally just unceremoniously ended. Mm-hmm. So there's no unwerewolfing cutscene or something where your guy's free to the curse. What would be funny is if he killed that last victim and just nothing happened.
Right.
You know, he's still a werewolf. Some funny stuff about this. When I was playing this, I had to laugh. This game is unintentionally funny and very Benny Hill-like in some instances. I remember an episode of Benny Hill where he's like a vampire or werewolf. But you'll be down the sewer or in the subway, and there's an escalator, stairs, or something like that, and you can pass a cop on that. and you just go right by him. And then the cop gets to the bottom. It's like, wait a minute. I can just picture this cop like, did a werewolf just go up the escalator, turn around? Sometimes you'll be walking to the woods or something, and it's a flip screen game. So your next screen, there'll be 2 or 3 cops there. You're like, whoa! Make a U-turn. The cops will chase you around. It's just, and everyone looks so stupid. It adds to the amusement. This is like like playing a Mystery Science Theater game.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this was a film, it's the kind of movie they would cover made into a video game.
Yeah.
It's goofy. It's weird. The whole trapping a guy aspect of it's goofy. It's goofy. What did you think of it?
I didn't hate it. I could understand what I was supposed to be doing. I like the way that I like the way that they let you keep multiple items. This game would have been horrible if you would have had a Dizzy like only one item at a time type inventory system where you were constantly having to drop things and pick them up. They didn't introduce too many different items, so I could understand what each item was supposed to do. Actually, that's not true. I don't know what the meat hook does. What does the meat hook do?
I've got no idea.
Okay.
Some of the stuff I knew, like I knew that when I went down, I think it was like underground, and it was pitch black.
You got to have the flashlight.
So, I learned that, but I was like, so some of this stuff I could figure out, but yeah, that's that, and I don't know if I don't remember what the meat hook. I don't know. I'm sure it's got some use, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but anyway, I like the fact that they don't. The punishment for failure is not great. If you get caught by the cops, you just end up in the jail cell. You got to wait till morning and get out, or you can get out immediately if you've got the file in there.
It's great if they shoot you.
yeah. Now, the part that I didn't like about this game is the waiting around when you're a human. They should have just taken that whole part out of the game, the whole human part. Just make me be a werewolf 24/7. Make me avoid the guys.
And maybe there is stuff to do. We're just too like I didn't come close to beating this game, but I mean, maybe we just don't. But it seems like there's not that much to do. I mean, even as a werewolf, there's not a ton to do.
Right.
Walk around like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's something else. The werewolf walks around like he looks like if he like. You ever see somebody ride a unicycle? Yeah. This guy looks like he's riding a unicycle, and the whole time he's going.
Yeah, that's the way I imagine. It's the way I imagine Lionheart walking when he's not holding the sword. He just sort of prances about.
Now wait a minute. Don't give me that. This is a werewolf in a onesie on an invisible unicycle going the whole time. I know you don't like Lionheart, but cut me some slack. He ain't that bad.
So yeah, I think this game could have benefited with more stuff to do when you're a human, to set things up but I don't even know what you could do.
I don't either.
Yeah, so it's clear
exist.
It's clear that it's unfinished. It's clear that they had big ideas for it. The parts that are done well, like I thought the sound was okay. Like when you munch on the guys, it's going like
I thought the background graphics are pretty good. I mean, I thought they looked. I mean, aside from the peak, and the characters weren't too bad, but it's just their postures and their stride.
I will say that I looked at a couple different versions of this game, and it seems like the best looking version is the CPC version. It really looks nice. So if you want to try this out on something else, consider the Amstrad CPC version.
I think I looked at the C64 version as well, and I remember the sound was good.
Mm-hmm.
As you would imagine. This has sound as you would imagine. I didn't think the sound was all that great, but
yeah.
But I will say this is expansive. It's got a lot of areas.
Mm-hmm.
They did a good job making a very wide. Listen, for $2. I think this is a heck of a bargain. How about that?
Yeah, agreed.
We're going to look at it in the perspective of the cash you paid. For £2, which in America is what, $4 or $3, something like that. That's a bargain. I'd buy this thing all day long for that. Just if for any reason, because it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Just to watch the antics, that's good enough for me. So just on the basis of that, I'd give it a thumbs up. I found a review.
Really?
Actually, I found 2 reviews. For this. The score on World of Spectrum, 7.79 vote. So this is clearly not hated on there. On the other hand, yours, Sinclair, was not so kind, giving this 3 out of 10 vote. 3 out of 10. So not so good. What did our Discord community have to say about this one?
Well, we start things off with Simulant, who is our newest Clives Club member. He says, Werewolves of London is a fast-action horror romp like no other. A visually appealing game with cool intro music and creepy gameplay. Is the Spectrum version actually a complete game? It didn't matter as a kid. I wasn't good enough to get to the end. interesting locations and inventory, as well as an engaging kill, prison, or die battles with the cops. I guess those are your options. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic controls and game mechanics. Even the slowdowns help you evade police, like a slow motion getaway. It feels repulsive, chasing victims to commit gruesome acts, quenching your character's bloodlust. A sensational simulant, 8 out of 10.
Wow. Simulant should go, and he should be writing the box descriptions for these games.
Paul, a.k.a. Hermsky, writes, a Herm Firm 6 out of 10. I first thought I had crashed the game as the screen went black, but learned I needed a torch to enter the sewer.
Yes.
The game's graphics are attractive, but the sound effects disappointing, finding the constant tapping annoying. My character seemed to have many identical clones wandering around, and at times I wonder who I was trying to control. Yes, I had that happen too. However, this was a budget £1.99 game with simple puzzles, an interesting map to explore, and a diversity of scenery to admire, offering value for money. Oh, and why does my daytime character walk around like he has soiled his pants? Why do I notice these things? Am I going 8-bit mad? And finally, Chris Folds writes, a strange action horror puzzle game. Good game mechanics and nice graphics and a ton of backdrops. Sounds pretty terrible. I didn't quite gel with it, but I can see its appeal and worth a look if this is your kind of game. 6 out of 10.
I think I would fall in that area. You know, but I mean, it is. I will say, I won't soon forget it. I should mention on eBay, if you're looking to add this to the collection, you can get them all day long for under $5, and I can even well under $5. I saw some go for just a couple bucks. So add them to your collection today.
Yeah. Well, before we go, it's time to make a very special our Sinclair announcement. And just a couple days ago, I was offered a new job working in higher education administration over at West Virginia State University. Unfortunately, this job is going to take more time, and I'm going to be out on the road more often, and I'm just not going to have the time to continue on with some of the shows on the Amigos Retro Gaming Network. So unfortunately, next week's episode of Our Sinclair will be the last episode of Our Sinclair. It is possible that the show may be resurrected by persons in the near future or the far-flung future, but we are closing the curtain on this iteration of Our Sinclair after next week's show.
It's very gutting, but we both talk about the Sinclair a lot and how much we love it. And that's a shoot. I mean, we really do. Yeah. Today's game is a perfect example of the kind of game you don't find hardly anywhere else. Wacky, goofy, and so it's going to be. I'm going to miss this show terribly, Boat, because we've been doing this one for a good while. I don't know how many episodes we got under our belt.
This is, I think, 63. So over a year.
We've been at it for over a year. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I suspect that somewhere down the line we will revisit this show. And see how everything shakes out with Boat's new job and stuff. But we've had a good time. We're going to try to pick up a little bit of the slack on ARG, which we'll talk about that Sunday. But thanks for everybody that supported the show. We really appreciate it. And hopefully you'll stick around. We're going to keep the Amigos going. And hopefully you'll stick around. And there definitely will be more Sinclair content in the future. If it's not the show, then it'll just be some live streams or some offline content or solo stuff. So we appreciate you guys. We really do.
Absolutely. I did want to thank all of the fine folks that have joined us live on Twitch. We've got Edvin Helland here from the Man Cave. Polyester Lynx is here with us. Looks like Duncan Styles popped in for a bit. Hermsky, Cities in, Mindrax. Thank you guys so much for chilling out with us on the Our Sinclair show. And like I said, we got one more episode. Next week's episode is Ninja Scooter Simulator. I can think of no better game to close out Our Sinclair than Ninja Scooter Simulator.
Did you say Ninja Scooter Simulator?
I did. I did.
Oh my! I can't wait to give that a shot.
I have played this one. This one was suggested by Clive's Club member Paul Harrington. Of course, we want to thank all of our Clive's Club and Sinclair supporters: Jonah, aka Simulant, O'Brien's Retro and Vintage, Mark Downey, Hermsky, Andrew Waite, Captain Crispy, Laurent Giroux, Gary Heather, Eric Nelson, Harbonaut, Graham Vebke, Frodo and L, Tapes from the Crypt, Pixels at Dawn, Chris Folds, Paul Harrington, and Christopher Hassall.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right, Aaron, we will be back next week for the final episode of our Sinclair Ninja Scooter Simulator. Until then, rewind, tape,
and press play.